now that the offensive line has been taken care of, what is the next move? What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Talking Jets with Tigo. My name is Tigo, and today I want to talk about, well, what's next for the New York Jets? We've obviously all saw the news yesterday. The New York Jets signing Tyron Smith to be the left tackle, which was a big deal for the team. And Joe Douglas was able to do something that I legitimately thought was going to be impossible, and that was going to be fixing the offensive line by not just getting one tackle in free agency, but going and finding two, which is just absolutely insane. I always thought that the path of least resistance to rebuilding the offensive line was rebuilding the interior with Elijah Vera Tucker at tackle, but he was able to do it. He brought in the number one left tackle in free agency in Tyron Smith, manufactured a trade for Morgan Moses that we didn't know was a possibility, went and found John Simpson, which is a great value signing at guard, and I think is going to be excellent for this team. Drafted AVT, drafted Joe Tippmann, and now the line is set. But that doesn't mean that the New York Jets are done, and nor should they be. The New York Jets still have a few holes that they need to address, but the great part is the holes that they have, none of them are for key starting players. All of the holes that the New York Jets have on the roster right now are for depth pieces, including depth at the offensive line, specifically the interior of the offensive line. I would like to add another person like a Connor McGovern. There is an argument to be had that the New York Jets probably need a running back too. Donta Foreman, I've said your name before. I would love to bring him into the New York Jets. There is an argument to be had that we need another edge with Bryce Huff leaving. You can't really rely on Michael Clemens, to be an edge rusher or an interior. We don't know what he is all that much, but the New York Jets seem to be looking to address that by bringing in Jadeveon Clowney for a meeting on Monday, and if it was me, I would not let him leave the building. I would make sure that Monday morning when Jadeveon Clowney is visiting, you just sell him the world, give him a 2-year deal, which is I'm not sure any other team is going to be wanting or willing to give it to him, and just align Jadeveon Clowney with the Aaron Rodgers years. It's exactly what we've been doing. 2-year deals. Everyone lines up with the Aaron Rodgers window, and boom, everything goes off, and we're set for hopefully back-to-back Super Bowl runs. And then the biggest need, in my opinion, this has always been the biggest need in the offseason, if you would have asked me, even over the offensive line, in my opinion, was the wide receiver room. Because the way that I've always looked at it is that we needed 2, maybe even 3 wide receivers to come into the New York Jets system, because you just legitimately cannot count for anybody not named Garrett Wilson at the wide receiver room in the building. And I mean, like, none of them. And I love me Jason Brownlee and Xavier Gibson and Irv Charles, and Alan Lazard is dead weight. We're not going to be able to trade him. We can't cut him. Like, you have to deal with that fact. But the reality is that we should be doing everything in our power to make Alan Lazard a healthy scratch as many times as possible throughout the season, because he's just not good at football. And the best way to do that is to overhaul the wide receiver room. And I would love to do that not just in free agency, but also in the draft. And the New York Jets are taking steps with that. Monday afternoon, we're meeting with Mike Williams, formerly of the Los Angeles Chargers. And again, I would sell him the dream and just be like, look, this is the situation. The only teams right now that you're scheduled to meet with are the New York Jets and the Carolina Panthers. The Carolina Panthers aren't going to make a run anytime soon, period. But the New York Jets are. We have the offensive line. We have the quarterback. We've got the weapons in the running back room and in the wide receiver room, and we have a top 5 defense. If there's any team that you can hitch your wagon to try and go and get yourself a ring, this is the one. You're the missing piece. Come here and be a part of that rebuild. And I don't see how you say no to that, especially because I would also offer him a 2-year deal. Like I said, you line him up with Aaron Rodgers, boom, everything's beautiful. You do 2 back-to-back runs. And when it comes to the draft, especially if we sign Mike Williams, the draft blows wide open. The 10 pick one should immediately go for sale. If I'm Joe Douglas, I call 31 franchises every day from now until draft day to let them know that the number 10 pick is for sale. If anybody wants to come up for any player not named Joe Alt or Marvin Harrison Jr., because if either one of those guys makes it to 10, you sprint to the podium, but neither one of those guys are making it to 10. But I would tell everybody that 10 is for sale. You want to come up to 10? Come do it. Minnesota's picking at 11. You want J.J. McCarthy if he's there? Come and trade up to 10. That is what I would do, because gathering as many assets would be the key. But pass catcher is totally in on the books at 10, whether that's Brock Bowers, Malik Neighbors, Romo Dunze, Brian Thomas Jr., whoever it is that you see as your guy, that's in at 10. Also got to look at the fact that, you know what? Tyron Smith and Morgan Moses are on one-year deals. And if you're not comfortable with the idea of Carter Warren being a part of the future at tackle, I am, then you could still go offensive tackle at 10. It blows the door wide open, and it's going to be much, much harder to get in front of the New York Jets to try to take their player, because you don't know who that is. And that's the key. We saw a team jump up in front of the Jets last year to take a player that we all perceived to be their guy in Broderick Jones, and we later found out probably wasn't on their boards, which is a different conversation for itself. But again, it's just that piece of, hey, let's just be the enigma in the draft so that we can, one, truly go BPA, sell the hell out of 10, and not lose out on key players that we want to target in the draft because teams are coming up. I would love to bring in Mike Williams. I would love to draft 2 wide receivers. Like I said, let's revamp this wide receiver room now that we've built the Great Wall of, I said it in yesterday's video. I'm going to stick to it. It's my new thing. I might make a shirt with it. The Great Wall of man meat that's going to protect Aaron Rodgers. We got the VP, got the Secret Service in front of him now. Let's get to it. Let me know what you guys want in the comment section below the Jets to do for the rest of free agency and now in the draft. I'm so curious to hear your guys' opinions, and I try to respond to every comment, and I do read all of them. So let me know in the comment section below what you guys think. Don't forget to hit the like button on your way out, and last but not least, go Jets.